Welcome to the Mother Knows Show. I am Mother Knows, Season 1, Episode 5. God is so good. Thank you for rolling with me. I appreciate the love and support. Man, let me tell you, we got a special guest today. Carvin Haggins is a Grammy Award winning and multi-platinum selling songwriter, producer, engineer, co-founder of Karma Productions, co-creator of Forever Music Inc., and the creator of Ethical Music Entertainment. Carvin and his musical partner, Ivan Barrios, have worked with some of the greats, you hear me, from Chris Brown to Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, Justin Timberlake, Kanye West. The list goes on and on. It's an honor to have him on my podcast because I'm a huge fan. Welcome to the Mother Knows Show, the man of the hour, Mr. Carvin Haggins. What's up, Carvin?
What's the deal, man? Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, Carvin, thank you so much for speaking with me today. How are you, fam?
Man, I'm always good, man. It's not a time that I'm not good.
I like that.
Yeah.
We got to take it all the way back. Take us back to how did you get into music, and for how long have you been producing for, Carvin?
Man, so that's two different stories, but the first story is I used to be a rapper. Back in the 80s, I was a rapper. I was a part of a rap group called Crusaders of Bass. Me and my partner, my cousin Andre Dandridge, and then another guy named Theodore Life, which is T Life's son. T Life was a music producer, is a music producer who did Evelyn Champagne King. So it started there, had a rap group and, being in the hip hop world. And then eventually hip hop started changing into a conversation that I didn't want to have, So I kind of backed out of that and got involved in the production by way of Up and Up Productions out of Willingboro, New Jersey. The owner was Harold Russell. And I started working in his company, and we were doing all the commercials for Power 99 and Q102, Stanley T's commercials, like all of the DJ's commercials. And from that, I met DJ Jazzy Jeff through that connection. And then I locked in with Jazzy Jeff and got involved with A Touch of Jazz Productions, which was myself, Andre Harris, Vidal Davis, Keith Pelzer, Darren Henson, and my partner, Ivan Barrios. And then, of course, Valvin Rome, who's I'd say my teacher of songwriting. So all of us was a part of the Touch of Jazz movement. So that's where my professional career started.
As a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
That's a great question. I always wanted to be in the music industry. Like, I had a love for music. Like, I remember in the mornings waking up to wake up everybody. My mom had me sitting on the edge of the bed with all of my coat and everything ready for school. And at a certain age, I think I was around about 10 or 11, I jimmied this. We had a stereo system, but we had the speakers, but the connectors of the speakers were broken. So I figured out how to make the system work. Man, I would stay up all night. Like, when the Quiet Storm would come on, I would be up all night till like 4 in the morning listening to all of the music, man, the way it would move me. One of the songs, Me and Mrs. Jones, was one of the records that just moved me. Like
Billy Paul.
Yeah, Billy Paul, man, that record, the pain in his voice made me like, I want to do that. You know what I mean? So that was, music has always been it, but I'm a history buff too. So one of my thoughts was in history class is like, why is Benjamin Franklin in the history books? You know what I mean? Why are we talking about George Washington? And I was like, I want my name to go down in history like that. I want my name to be written in history. So those two things coupled together, it kind of propelled me to where I am right now.
Looking back to the beginning of your career, Carvin, did you know that you were going to be where you are today?
Here's the crazy thing, right? I knew success was coming. I didn't know how, but what I did know was that whatever it was going to take, I was going to figure it out, right? So it's always that thing that's in you that make you like, I know I'm going to do it, right? Like it's that God voice that tells you like, this is it, this is what you're doing. And once you hear that voice, it's up to you at that point to make the decision of, am I going to continue figuring it out and failing along the way, or am I going to quit at the first failure? So for me, it was like, whatever it is, I'm going to figure it out, because that's just the way my mind works. So whatever success is, how to get there, I'll figure it out. So yeah, I always felt like I was going to figure it out.
Who or what inspires you in your career?
Man, that's again another question.
I came ready for you, Carvin.
yeah. You shooting them Jones off like an AR right now. But here's the thing, right? So God is my ultimate inspiration. That's the thing that drives me. My children inspire me to continue to keep going forward, because I believe in legacy. So I'm always on that mission, but also I'm all about helping and community. So my success is not only for me. My success is for, how can I help my community? How can I help my people? I'm all black, so it's all about, how can I help my black brothers and sisters get to where they need to get to, or lead them, or show them, or provide, whatever it is. That's what I'm working for. How do I build up my community? Because I build up my community, we build up the world community, and that's really it for me.
When did you first discover your gift of songwriting?
Wow. So, man, bro, like for real with these questions, come on with it. But all right, so I got an older brother by the name of Leon, right? So when we were kids, my older brother, I grew up with my mom, and my mom would be out working, and sometimes we had to wait for her to get home with the food, right? She worked at Burger King at one point, so she would bring the leftovers home for us to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So to pass that time, my brother would create all of these games, right? We had this one game called Shocky Lukey Friends that he invented,
What is Shocky Lukey Friends?
It's the mastermind of Leon created that game. And then also we would do this game of just making up songs. So that's kind of where it started. And then more than anything, when I got into the building of A Touch of Jazz, I felt like I could do it. I know I can do it. I remember we had a meeting, and all of the people were sitting around the table. It was like 15 people, and they were talking about what they do and how they do it. And then when it came to me, I was like, hey, I'm aspiring to be a songwriter. I don't know how to write a song, but I'm sure if you give me the opportunity, I'll figure it out. So, again, like I said, my belief is, if man can do it, I can do it.
Amen.
That's it,
What's the first artist you wrote a song for?
Wow. Jeez Louise. So, man, that's a good question. Well, Valve in Rome is actually the first artist I wrote a song for. And then he and I wrote a song for a group back at Up and Up Productions. They never came out, but I was involved with that, me and Dorsey Wesley and Valve in Rome. After that, I wrote a song for a rap group that Terry Lewis was producing out here in Philadelphia. Following that, it was like Tia Mintz, and then Ryan Toby, and then Bilal, and then Kenny Lattimore. I'm giving you a list. You said who did the song, but anyway, sorry for rambling, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm a rambling man, brother.
That's all right. We got more than enough time to ramble. How long does it take you normally to write a song?
All right, so yeah, I don't want to say this because it sounds like I'm being cocky or diminishing the value of what we do, but I'd say the song Love that I did with Music Soul Child, it took us 15 minutes to write that song.
Such a beautiful song.
Yeah, it's a great song, but all of this stuff is God inspired, right? So, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do none of that in the studio.
Never?
Never.
Never had a drink?
No. Well, I'm lying. I did have a drink twice.
Okay.
So once was at Jazzy Jeff's birthday party, and then the second year was at Jazzy Jeff's birthday party. And I think at my adult age, yeah, that was it. Yeah. Only times I had a drink. But I say all that to say that I try to be extremely clear when I'm creating, and I make sure that that I'm able to hear God speaking. So I keep my mind open for when God is talking, and I just translate for whatever He's saying to me. So that song "Love" came in 15 minutes with me, with the minds of myself and Music Soul Child. Yeah, man, we just talked about let's not do a song. He didn't want to do a love. He didn't want to do a love sex song or a song that was more misogynistic. So it was like the average love song. I was like, well, let's talk to the emotion. And he was like, that's dope. And so we started hashing out the idea. In 15 minutes, the song was done.
Let me just say, you and your writing partner, Ivan Barrios, are notable for introducing Music Soul Child to the world and giving him his staple sound that we love. You guys are responsible for writing and producing the vast majority of music's more popular charted singles, such as Just Friends, Love Half Crazy, Don't Change, Buddy, Teach Me, Love, For the Night, and others. I'm going to stand up, my brother, and salute you and say thank you for the love, your commitment, and your contributions to R&B music, because I felt it. The songs that I just mentioned, they bring me so much joy, Carvin, just like they bring others joy.
Man,
thank you once again. Brilliant. The first album alone, and we ain't get to the second, third, and fourth. We just starting with that first album. How did you meet Music Soul Child, and what were those recording sessions like, my friend?
Man, so I met Music Soul Child by way of Jerome Hips, right? Who was our manager, but he became our manager. But Jerome Hips was a guy that would come down to A Touch of Jazz, and he worked at the record store for the label. So Jerome Hips and Michael MacArthur, right? So they would come to A Touch of Jazz and just bring us like all of the new CDs that was out, right? So we all broke around that time, but they bringing us all these CDs and just introducing us to stuff. So he brought Aries down, and we were working on Aries, and Jerome was like, listen, shout out to Ayana and Ayinka.
Yeah, shout out to Aries. I like that song. Yeah. Wait, you produced that song?
No, I didn't produce anything on Aries recently. But
no, what's that song? Is it something to love, strangers to love?
Oh yeah, strangers to love.
Yes, I love that song. Get the frick out of here.
Yeah. Me, Ivan, and Aries, we put that together. So shout out to Ayana and Yinka. But Jerome Hips brought them into the studio, and we were doing work on them. And he said, man, I got this kid. If I can find him, I'm gonna bring him here. He's like, he's homeless, but I know he's around. So if I find him, I'm bringing him. I'm like, all right, bet. So the day before Thanksgiving, I was doing a session with Aries, and he brought music. And so music singing backgrounds, and I'm like, yo, I need this kid. I'm like, Jay, you think he can come back? He said, well, I don't know, because, I don't know his situation. So I'm like, all right, cool. In the session, and I'm asking him. I said, yo, man, can you come back tomorrow? And he's like, well, I'll be all over, so I don't know. I was like, look, Jeff is having Thanksgiving at his house. We're going to go to Jeff's house, get Thanksgiving, come back here, eat, and cut some music. He was like, bet. So he came back on Thanksgiving, and that day we cut the Ella Is Gone. And we cut the original version of the Ella Is Gone, and it's been on ever since. But our writing sessions they all took place late at night, right? Because at one point, Jeff was like, you're wasting your time with this kid. Like, he's good, but he's not what we're looking for at A Touch of Jazz. So I'm like, bro, listen, I'm trying to learn how to write and produce and engineer. I'm trying to learn this stuff. This is the perfect person for me. So he was like, all right, well, then y'all just got to do it during the hours that nobody's working. So we would come in the studio at 10 o'clock at night and work all the way to 10 in the morning. And in that time, I'm figuring out how to produce, how to make beats on the MPC and the ASR-10, and learning how to work Cubase and all of that stuff. So in the process, music will be sleep while I'm figuring out stuff. And then once I get a somewhat kind of track started that's out of key and all wrong, we'll write a song. And the songs were just coming out better and better every night. So it was just like him and I putting our brains together to create greatness. So yeah, we didn't know we were making history. We knew we was making something, but we didn't know it was history,
How would you describe him back when he was just starting to reach a mainstream success?
Who, music?
Hmm.
I mean, music is, he's always been like a recluse. You know what I mean? Music, fame is not fame. He don't really like fame. So, I mean, he's always been in the tuck. Like, you know, let's get the job done. What you need me to do? All right, cool. I'm good. All right, we done. All right, cool. I'm out. I'm in the tuck. He just stayed in the tuck. That's who he is. So, yeah.
I gotta say, If You Leave by Music Soul Child and Mary J. Blige is probably one of my favorite R&B duets. Oh man, y'all gotta work on that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got music straight out of Philly. You got the Queen MJB. It's blessed by Carvin and Ivan.
Yeah.
What was it like being in the studio with MJB?
Man, let me explain something to people. And this for me, it was amazing, right? Like, people normally talk about how Mary can't sing, and it's always something weird, when they talk about Mary. Bro, listen, we went to record that record in New York. We had just flew in from LA, so we ended up taking all of our baggage to New York to the hotel. Mary came in, she sang her verse down. The first take, killed it, like emotion, note, tonality, everything. Killed it the first take. So I'm sitting there like, what are we supposed to do? She's like, no, let me do it a couple more times. So she did it like at least 5 more times, gave us the ad-libs out, everything. The session took no longer than 45 minutes. And she killed it. So Mary J can sing. And she's not a joke in that booth. So, what everybody thinking and saying, nah, she goes to work for real, But it was good. It was a blessing,
Now, after a few albums, as a fan, I noticed that music stopped working with y'all. And I was pissed off. Because I loved everything about y'all. You guys were like peanut butter and jelly, fried chicken and macaroni and cheese, Jimmy Jam and Janet.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
The perfect combination. Chemistry out this world.
Yeah.
Why did y'all stop working together?
Here's the thing, right? Everybody has their own ambitions, right? And you're talking about a 19-year-old kid that's now growing into his manhood. Yeah, he was 19 when he started. So it's like you got a 19-year-old kid that's growing into his manhood and feeling like he's being constrained. You know what I mean? So you can't fault a man for saying, listen, I want to do my own thing. You raise a child to be able to leave the house and be their own man. So, it happens that way. You grow and you become what you become, and you want to express yourself the way you want to express yourself. And those things have to be allowed and permitted. And, that's what it's supposed to be,
You have written and produced so much for some of my faves. Ledisi, Jill Scott, Faith Evans, Philly Zone, Jasmine Sullivan, Love Foolish Heart, we'll get to that, Joe, Kanye West, the list goes on. Can you discuss your top 3 experiences over the years?
Wow, okay, so, yeah. All right, so I'm going to start first with Raheem DeVaughn.
Hey, customer!
Right? Yeah, so Raheem is, he's one of my top, and here's why. The first thing is, Raheem comes to work. Like, he don't come in the studio to do nothing but work. Raheem was in the studio with us. We started at 6 p.m. We went in the studio to 6 a.m.
Wow.
Raheem left the studio, went to Power 99, did an interview, sang live on the radio, did everything he had to do, left the station, and came back to the studio, and we continued working. Like, his work ethic, for me, then I've never seen an artist willing to go that hard for his own career, right? And the second part of that is that when Customer hit and became what it became, Raheem called me on a Saturday morning, and he was like, hey, Carv, man, what's going on, bro? I'm like, what's going on, Smokey? How you doing? He was like, man, I'm doing good, man. He said, I was calling to tell you thank you. And I was like, wow. He was the first artist that said thank you. I was like, wow, for what? He was like, man, listen, I've never sold out the TLA by myself. And since that record customer, I'm sold out for this weekend. So I need you to come to the show, but I wanted to tell you thank you. And I was like, wow, that's great. You know what I mean? That's a great thing. So Raheem is definitely one of my top. My second is Faith, bro. Faith Evans, she's not nothing to play with. Like when we recorded those records with Faith, we were literally, so the way our studio was set up, there's a table that sits behind the control booth, right? And then there's the control center where the mixing board is, and then there's the window where the artist is in the booth. So while Faith and I are writing a record and she's recording, behind me, Ivan is working on the counter, creating another beat for us to work on. Soon as he finished the beat and we finished the song, we load the next beat in and we're working like that. It was like a factory with Faith. And just the way her work ethic, amazing, bro. Like is nothing, like you can't argue with the way Faith works. Like we put that album together, the First Lady album, the records we did them all in a week.
Are you kidding me?
In 1 week.
Stop and Go, Until You Came, Again, I Don't Need It.
Yeah. 1 week. And it really was like not even a whole week, it was like 4 days.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, so yeah, Faith is top tier. And then so Lettucey is, I'd say, you said 3, I'm gonna say 4. Lettucey is in the top 4, just because Lettucey is an incredible vocalist. And then the 2 that don't even line up with that category that are amazing to me in every way is Music and Jill. That's just it. Jill, I'm gonna tell you right now, Jill penmanship, like her skill in writing is beyond. Like the way her perspective, the way she writes in her perspective, and the entendres that's in her music, like you'll still be figuring it out. Like if everybody going crazy over Kendrick, like go back and listen to Jill's stuff. Like there's double and triple entendres that she's touching on many different facets. And and we perceive it as just a song, but it's not. It's deeper than that. And the same thing with music is like creating with music is we're writing on 3 different levels. It's for the person who's listening for hook and catchy. It's for the intellect, and then it's for the artist. So there's like 3 levels of people that we are reaching in every song. So yeah,
I love all of your songs, but of course there are a couple that really speak to my soul. We touched on Faith Evans. The entire First Lady album was all that. You hear me?
Thank you, man.
Jill Scott, Family Reunion, Carvin.
Thank you.
You made me feel like I was at a backyard family reunion. That song works for summer parties, block parties. We at the grill, we drinking, we lighting up. It just feels good, Carvin, and better at home.
Yeah.
I played that so many times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That Better at Home goes hard.
Yeah.
What? Jill comes in like a tsunami.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Lettucey, I Gotta Get to You.
Yeah, that record.
Oh, there was something so special about I Gotta Get to You.
Yeah.
I love that song. Talk about creating that.
Man, honestly, again, it's her, Lettucey, Ivan, and myself in a room, man, and music is being created. I think Kurt Chambers was around at that time, and Johnny Smurf Smith was around while we were working on that. But again, pairing your mind up with these artists, and these are not people that you knew from childhood. So it's like we meet on a common understanding that we love music, and then we I guess we sup on the idea that we just want to create music that can help heal and build. So with Lettucey, that's where we were. We're like, let's just write a record that's talking about a real love affair where it's something that you you can't stay away from. You know what I mean? And just at every moment you got to get back to it. You know what I mean? And just an insight on some of the things that most times I'm writing letters to God. So, you know, I just put he and she in the record, but I'm really having a conversation with God.
Can you tell me the story of how you collaborated with another one of my faves, Jaheim, on Finding My Way Back?
Wait,
hit another home run.
So all right, so let's I'm a double back.
Double back.
So If You Leave is written with me and Miguel, and Find My Way Back is me and Miguel. So we just, Miguel came to Philly and we just did this whole writing camp with him, me and Ivan, and we just started writing all of these records. So If You Leave was a record that he and I started, and then Me and Music finished it. And then again, oh man, Find My Way Back, hands down, had to be like the most creative moment in our writing experience. It was like I was running back and forth to Bible study. So Ivan and them working, I'm like, it was on a Wednesday, so I'm like, yo, I gotta go to Bible study. So before I leave, me and Kurt Chambers come up with the idea, the hook of gotta find my way back. So Kurt started playing the guitar and making that movement to that hook idea. So we write the hook out, I run the Bible study, I come back, and then when I get back, Miguel is already through the first verse. So I get back in, jump back in on the second verse and the bridge. But it was a great writing experience, yeah.
Does it ever hit you how much great music or how many timeless classic songs you've created over the years, Carvin?
You know, I mean to tell you, I don't really think about that stuff, man. This is God's stuff, man. God, this is all God's success. This is all His material. So, you know, I don't claim it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's a blessing to be a part of it. And it's always great to hear the response from the music. And it's great to know that I was a vessel that was used. But yeah, I can't live in that success because it's not mine, it's God's stuff. You know what I mean? It's like I borrowed this car for a minute. So I'm going to keep it clean. You know what I mean? I'm going to make sure I return it back just the way He gave it to me, but cleaner and full of gas. You know what I mean?
Well, you left it clean, and the gas tank was on F for SWV.
Oh, man.
OMG. Love unconditionally.
Man, listen.
Talk about your work together with SWV. Another winner, Carvin.
So all right, so here's this is a long story. I'm gonna try to make it short. So Corey Taylor,
shout out to Corey,
who was their manager at the time. Corey Taylor hit me up on Facebook and was like, hey, if you had the opportunity to work with SWV, would you do it? I said, absolutely. He said, okay, cool, I'm gonna get back with you. Months go by, he hit me up, he's like, yo, I talked with SWV, they would love to come in and do some work. I'm like, cool, talk to my manager, Mike Mack, make it happen. So I connect them with Mike. For some reason, things weren't lining up. So Corey called me back. He was like, Carvin, listen, man, I'm really trying to get this done. I said, listen, we don't need to keep going back and forth because I'm not that type of person. If I say I'm doing it, let's get it done. We don't need the back and forth. Mm-hmm. I said, look, just come to my house. And I was living in New Jersey. I said, just bring them to my house, bro, and we'll get the work done. So he packed everybody up and brought them to the house. So what was happening was me and Gene Baylor and Marcus Baylor was working together at that time. And we wrote these records. So Unconditionally was one of the records that we wrote. So when SWV came in, they heard the songs and they were like, yo, we love these 3 records. So we cut Unconditionally and it was great. Like, it was great seeing Coco and Taj. And I'm going to tell you right now, yo, first of all, they all can sing. I don't know why people get it twisted. Like,
absolutely.
You know, Coco, no, they all can sing. And they all got great voices. And they are sisters with voices. SWV is SWV. And yeah, it was a great time. I enjoyed it. I had fun.
What inspires you and what makes you want to keep producing music?
Yeah, here's what's crazy. I don't think there's nothing else I want to do. You know what I mean? So, and creating songs is like it's like creating a new invention daily, right? It's like I'm inventing something I'm grabbing all of this stuff out of nowhere, right? We go in the studio with not an idea, not anything, and this is what we create every time we go in. Right now, I write with Stephanie Chambers, and I have a company called The Ring. So I have Stephanie Chambers, Yanti, Strickland, Dilemma, Lenny, Ab Lava, Sean Penn, Range. It's a slew of us in the studio, and we're constantly working. Shanae Savage, we're constantly working on music. So it's exciting now to watch the younger cats, because all these people are younger than me, to watch us create music together and to see their response to how the music art is affecting people, because this is their first experience. So now I get to see me all over again in them to have a first experience. So yeah, it's amazing.
You get to work with the creme de la creme. Gotta touch on Tamia. Love Tamia.
Yeah.
Loved what you guys did with Still Love You. How did that collaboration come about?
Again, Tamia is, when I say, she is like the nicest person I know.
Sweet as pie.
She is, yeah, she's sweet. Like, call her Sugar. Little Sugar. No, but I mean, we went to Miami, Ivan and myself, and we got a chance to work with Tamia. And the energy was so great. She was like, yo, I got to bring y'all back to the house because y'all need to meet my husband. So we get back to the house. We meet Horace. Horace is working on, he's like making beats and stuff. So we like, yo, him and Ivan started sharing information, and Ivan giving them sounds. I mean, it was a great time, man. It was a really great, and of course, Tamia vocally is, you know, it's nothing to say.
She's a powerhouse.
Man, she killed that record. She went in there and knocked that joint out. It was like, so what else we doing? You know what I mean? So yeah, it was great.
Love the work that you guys did on Chrisette Michelle's album too.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
I hope y'all get the chance to work with her again.
Yeah, Chrisette.
Just have that chemistry.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think we just take the time to know the person. You know what I mean? It's not we're not a manufacturer that's manufacturing the same product. We're tailors, right? And everything we do is we tailor the suit to fit you, and it's only you can wear it. So I think that's what works best for us. We get to know the artist and know things about them, and then we tailor make our music to fit that artist versus having a collection of songs to be like, oh, sing this. It's like, no. We're going to create something specifically for you that when you sing it, it's yours. Nobody else can sing it.
Can you share a project that you are particularly proud of and why?
Man, everything I work on, I'm proud of. I don't do anything that doesn't line up with my character and my beliefs. So there's nothing I'm disappointed in. Every single artist is amazing. The way they create their art with our art, and the way we collaborate, it's like I'm proud of all of it. You know, again, this is God's work, man. I'm in awe every time it's done. So, you know, yeah, I'm proud of all of it.
What are you currently working on, or who are you currently working with that you can share with me, Carvin?
Okay, so currently, again, I have a company called The Ring, and in this company, I gave you the names of Ab Lava, Carmen Loren is one of the people that's a part of it. Calvin, he's a part of it. But we are building that Philadelphia soul thing all over again. And in building that, we had the opportunity to work with Kenya Vaughn. We had the opportunity to work with Jay Brown. We are now working, we had the opportunity to do a movie for Hallmark.
Nice.
To score the movie for Hallmark. We're currently working with PBS, and we're doing 5 documentaries, scoring 5 documentaries.
Congratulations.
Yes, the documentary series is the American Masters series. And in American Masters, there's a series called Renegades. So we're doing that, the music for that. And then also, we just finished Joe Scott's project.
Nice.
Man.
I can't wait to hear it.
This album is amazing. Like, I don't even want to hype it up. It's like, if you've ever seen The Wiz, this album feels like The Wiz. Right? If you've ever seen it, it feels like that. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then there's some other people that we're working with I can't talk about right now. But, it's going to be, the world's going to be excited about it.
What are your thoughts on how R&B and hip-hop has changed over the course of your 3-decade career?
Right. So, I came in on the heels of Mr. Gamble and Mr. Huff. And so, my goal with my partner Ivan, our goal was to make sure that we made our predecessors proud. And we wanted to make sure we complimented their work that Philadelphia International gave the world. We wanted to make sure we supplied the world with that same thing. So we just followed in the footsteps that were already made. I think that in that too, of course you get criticized because it's not all live musicianship and you're sampling and, so, you get ridiculed until it all makes sense, right? So for the new generation, it's the same thing, right? Because they are an extension of what we created. Granted, I'm not saying I'm a fan of the content because I respect women at a high level and I just respect our people at a high level. And I think that, in delivering song, that song affects the soul and that soul creates action that acts out in society, in our community. So I think it's necessary for us to be responsible. But I understand the rebellion of the youth. I understand the music that they create. And I think it's just evolution. Now, we are working to get it back to some good old-fashioned morals and standards and love and, honesty. We trying to get it back we are getting it back to that. So I love that. So I respect everybody in their creative space. Hip-hop, the same thing. It got a little outrageous. Again, it's a little egregious. I don't stand for what they stand for, so I can't support the negativity that's in the music, but I understand what society creates these things and the machine promotes these things. So if you want to get paid, then you gotta promote what the machine is promoting. So
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I think that in the world of creativity, create from your soul, make the world better. In standards of chasing your dream, if it's your dream, then why give up on it, right? I believe that failure is necessary because failure is just education. It's compressed education and information, right? Failure is the thing you remember the most. So if you remember how you failed, then you'll succeed easier, right? Spirituality, find a God and trust in Him. I found my Jesus, and I trusted it. And I don't have fear at all because, I don't fear no man, I fear God. So if you live your life without fear, then you'll express your life with love.
And that's the way to close this interview. Carvin Haggins, thank you from the bottom of my heart for pulling up to the Mother Knows Show. You should know by now, we spent 40 minutes together. I got nothing but love for you, my brother.
I appreciate you.
I thank you,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you, and I'm happy to give you your flowers because you deserve them, my brother.
I thank you, man. I appreciate you as well.
Much love to you, and don't be a stranger.
Won't be. This is where we at.
Amen.
Amen.
Good stuff, Carvin.
Yeah, man. Listen, like I said, I'm here, man. I'm in this city for a reason. I can't leave.
Good stuff, my
You know what I
friend.
mean?
That was good.
I hope I gave you something to work with.
No.
Yeah.
You gave me everything. I'm going to get some photos before we leave.